Round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. That round of applause is for, of course, Bilal, who's been admirable enough to join us today. Post-match carnage. West Ham 1, Liverpool 2, Man City 4, Arsenal 1. The two main talking points or games of the evening, would you say, guys? I think so. The two highlights, the two high-profile games. Liverpool, not so much. Arsenal's very much so. But round of applause, everyone, for Bilal. It's not easy. We're going to get into it, Bilal. I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to be a pretentious prick and ask how you are. But hope your health is good and all that business, man.
Yeah, health is. I hope it's good, but after watching that, I don't know what damage it's done to me long term. But honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Kind of expected that to happen. It's not like it's a surprise, but when it does happen, and when you can, what's worse, you can see that result coming, and the fact that for me, that team, the manager, the players didn't find a way to stop it from happening. It's okay to lose, like in that kind of game. I understand if you lose, away from home, Man City, but to be humiliated the way we've been humiliated again in a big match when we've needed to win, or at least even get a point just to keep this whole charade alive, then yeah, for me, I don't know. Like it's not, it's something at this point with Arsenal. Like Wenger used to get slapped up all the time away from home, right? And with Arteta, I was hoping, as someone who had been under Wenger, would understand that in some of these games, you can't just, try and play the same way that we've been playing the whole season. Try and give us something different, because away from home and these sort of, honestly, just make it hard, because I think Southampton, if they went to Man City tonight, would have put up a better fight than we did today. And I think that's just saying so. It's like I even heard Man City fans say like they're not even worried about. I think they've got Everton next, right? They're saying they're not even worried about the Arsenal game. They're more worried about Everton, and I think it makes sense because why would you be
damning indictment? Look, damning opening indictment for Bilal. Hopefully he'll calm down as the show goes down. Hopefully he may even get more emotional as the show goes on and we get into it. And of course, joining me, we're calm, we're okay, we're happy. We broke a few curses today. The curse of the white kit away from home. We thought we're going to get aerially bombarded. So I thought anyway. Konate's missing. We're going to get into all of it. But Errol, just sum up your feels right now.
I'm calm, bro. Like
calm, innit?
You got to be like, at the end of the day, I always expected going away to West Ham to be a difficult game.
Yeah.
I expect it when we're playing well. I expect it to obviously be quite plucky in their approach to how they tend to play us. They always seem to get up for it. They're one of those teams that like to get up for it.
The crowd definitely get up for it.
Crowd get into it, and if you can get into our heads, and that and it looked like that way as well from the outset. But fair play to Liverpool, because today there was a little bit of fight in there. They knew they had the quality, which I think is what they've believed for the majority of the season, but they've coasted on believing that the quality is going to get them through, as opposed to fighting to unleash the quality that they actually have. And I think tonight was a good representation of them actually unleashing that quality and actually working for it. So I've got to respect it. There was a few moments where you think, oh, shit, could we have done better? But obviously the 3 points was vital, like I said, and I'm just happy that we can dissect it with a smile on our faces, brother.
I enjoyed it, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I did have a ticket. I managed to source a ticket, but I couldn't get away. My daughter was not feeling too well, so I had to stick around. I gave up the ticket, but I really enjoyed it. I thought we're going to get into the game. We're going to get into both games. We're going to roll off each other. We're going to bounce off each other both games. We're going to reflect on the two games. Obviously, me and Errol watched the Liverpool game. Obviously, Bilal must have watched. Oh, I know for a fact. Watched majority of it. You may have turned off near the end. I don't know. We're going to find out. People in the chat, as you come into the stream, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't. All of that good stuff. Yeah, man. As Thomas says, respect Bilal, man, for being here in this difficult time. It ain't easy.
Thank you, Thomas.
I'm telling you, it ain't easy. Andy's already throwing in man of the match. We're going to get into man of the match shouts and who impressed or who didn't and whatever. Joe Matip for for sure one of the contenders anyway. Here we go with the Man City people in the chat already are in the building. The first super chat says, tell him, Grizz, there's levels to this shit. City tearing the Cockneys apart again. KDB GOAT Premier League midfielder, best Haaland performance without his shooting boots. Yeah, look, by all accounts, Haaland reversed all the talk on him in recent weeks about he can only score goals and can't do anything else. You know, his link-up play, all of that business. Bro, today, chances galore, but his overall performances at number 9 was sublime.
Yeah, listen, they said Gabriel Jesus was a false 9. He can link up and do all of that. Haaland showed him he's a false 9 as well. You know, he could do a bit of that, and he can get a goal as well, which he got towards the end, which I think he deserved for his performance. You know, and yeah, Haaland, De Bruyne, it was too easy for them, in my opinion. And I would say that obviously as an Arsenal fan, but if you're watching that, it was too easy. But once you give these guys a sniff, that's it. They're too good. You know, they're too clinical, too good. And you just give them a little bit of an opportunity and they take it. And yeah, Haaland today was absolutely sensational. The Manchester City defense was sensational. Akanji, you know, big him up. Saka in his pocket, all of that. You know, their defense kept ours quiet. John Stones again, absolutely supreme. What a supreme defender he is. You know, you had the likes of Rodri in there in the midfield today. I was just impressed with them all round. And I think, listen, the treble is on and they should win this treble. I think comfortably, Man City are the best team in Europe. You know, they're the best team in England by a country mile. They're the best team, as we said, in Europe. If they get past Real Madrid, I don't see who can stop them. And that's going to be the challenge.
I spoke about it so many times. I said that's the treble final. You know those 2 games against Real Madrid will dictate the treble, guys.
Yeah,
no ifs and buts about it. They're hurting Man United in the FA Cup final. The league's a wrap now. It's only a Real Madrid team that, by the way, lost 4-1 to Girona yesterday. They only turned up 4-2. They only turn up in the Champions League, it seems, literally. Can they turn up for the most humongous 2 games that they're going to face? I personally, and I'm not saying this, I'm telling you now, I'm saying it nice and early, they're going to blitz Madrid over 2 legs. I'm telling you now, they're going to blitz. They're playing some sensational football, Errol, but we already know this because we're the only team in Europe, in this country, that have gone toe-to-toe with them. We've dipped, but fair play to them. They haven't.
They're relentless, man. They are absolutely relentless. And I think the thing with City is the ability to find a new gear no matter which personnel gets rotated in. And you kind of think, oh, there's going to be a drop-off in quality. Everyone always makes out that, oh, City have got this, you know, two first 11s. They haven't really. They've probably got a good 14, 15, but it doesn't matter the way he uses his squad. You know, he's let Cancelo go. He's let Jesus go, obviously, to Arsenal. He's let Zinchenko go. You think there naturally had to be some level of drop-off. You know, you almost look to the fact that Haaland is he going to be too one-dimensional to fit into a City system? That's what a lot of people were expecting. Yes, he'll put up those numbers, but will he aid and assist the other players to allow them to still flourish and get the most out of them? But whatever way, they need to perform or they need to get the results. And Pep Guardiola, you've got to give him a lot of credit because he's played a blinder this season.
Blinder, bro.
There was a lot of speculation, not even speculation. There was just a lot of mumbling about he's resting too many players or he's dropped players and before the World Cup and all of these things. And it was all tactical. It was all, my man's been playing 4D chess from the start of the season. He's new. It's like he'd already had a season where a World Cup had been dropped in November. And like Footy Manager, you know how you simulate the thing in advance to just 100. Know what you need to do. It was like he'd done that because he hasn't, when you look at it now retrospectively with hindsight, he hasn't put a foot wrong all season. He hasn't outmanaged himself and out-tacticked himself for once. He's dealt with it. Don't get me wrong, he's had some easy runs in the cups, but you still got to dispatch the teams that are in front of you. Kevin De Bruyne now literally leveling up. He's literally at the right time. He's just turning up the heat. you've just got to look at it and you've just got to think to yourself what this City team are not only capable of doing, because we've seen it in terms of what they've done on the pitch in the past, but what they continue to do is nothing short of phenomenal.
But I couldn't have summed it up better. Guys, close to 200 of you in here. Let's get those likes going. Let's get the smashing up of the likes going before we get into the games and the incidents, the key incidents, the talking points, the man of the match, who performed, who didn't, who bottled it, who stood up in both games, focusing on mainly. Yeah, there was a few other games. Nottingham Forest fighting for their lives, turn up big time against Brighton.
Yeah,
big time result against Brighton. Big, massive result. But we're going to get into it. But look, Pep Guardiola, flowers. Look, we already know about the money. We already know bottomless pit. We already know about that. He can afford to make mistakes. But to play the way he plays and the way he's integrated Haaland into this team, and like Errol says, the way he's played the World Cup, and people were saying, oh, they're wobbling. City are not the same this season, including me as well. The way they just come on strong, like they always do. And again, me and Errol and the Liverpool people in the chat will tell you, this is where they come into their own. They look the freshest, the fittest, and the best team in Europe right now. And it is a lot down to Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, what Guardiola's done with this team is, incredible. I think Errol mentioned it when he let Cancelo go in January. I think a lot of Arsenal fans, a lot of rival fans are like, why is he doing that? Cancelo, their best attacking fullback, what he offers them from left back, sometimes filling in at right back. Why would you do such a thing? But obviously he took the decision. It seemed like there was a bit of a bust up in the training ground, got rid of him. But that, letting go of Cancelo actually made them a stronger defensive unit. And I think that's obviously something that you have to give Guardiola credit for. Today, Aki's not there. Aki's probably been their best defender, bar John Stones.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Left back, obviously can play centre back. Aki's been absolutely incredible this season for them. But then to put Akanji there, of all players, maybe you're thinking the first time he played against Arsenal, put Bernardo Silva there, did a job for a little bit, didn't work out. Then, he's got the option of Laporta as well, maybe give him a go. But to put Akanji there, for me, a bit of a masterstroke. And then with likes of Diaz in there, who at one stage, right, Diaz wasn't getting a game. We were like, what's happened to Diaz? The guy came from Portugal, he's come from Benfica. We're like, Diaz is the superstar. Why is he?
And he's come back like a man possessed,
Exactly.
He's come back motivated, looking strong, looking fresh. Other centre backs, a couple of ours, yours definitely falling away by the wayside. Let's not even discuss the Chelsea centre backs. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the ones that are like sort of talked about, one of the higher echelons of centre backs. Mm-hmm. Whereas Man City's, the likes of Stones and Diaz have come back looking fresh. It's like the start of the season for them.
Yeah, 100%. And I like this comment here. I just want to get up here. Ahmed Mohammed saying City were inviting the press and their counters were fake. I think an interesting thing that Man City have learned this season, and it's something Madrid. It's something. Oh, are we back?
No, you're right. Yeah, I think you went for a little while. You're cool. You're back.
I'm back, yeah. So I was just saying, in terms of Man City, I think in terms of what they've been doing, in terms of their, letting Arsenal come onto them a little bit, letting Arsenal play with the ball a little bit. I think they've learned a lot from Vinicius Junior, in the Champions League. That's why I think now they're ready for Real Madrid, because
they're ready.
They're not so obsessed with holding the ball every second of the game. They're willing to let the other team take the ball. They can suffer a little bit, but they know they've got the rocks at the back. And then once they get the ball and they turn with the likes of De Bruyne and Haaland, because that gives Haaland a lot of space now to work in. Because if you're starting to let the other team pass it about, they're not really going anywhere. You're containing them. They're not doing anything. But then when you get the ball, you're so direct. I think now Guardiola's got the perfect mix of, possession football when they have to, but also being a bit smart about what they're doing now. And I think that's what makes them so dangerous. And they're so impressive to watch. And yeah, I think the treble, nothing's been so close. I think maybe the Liverpool quadruple last season, that was close, but this feels even closer, more tangible even. Because
I agree, I don't know how Errol thinks or what you think about it.
I'd say they're fairly on par at the minute, aren't they? I think if once they dispatch of
where do you see them faltering? It's only Madrid, right? Really?
No, again, I don't like to do much Man U prop, but Man U can. I don't know. I wouldn't. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if they just flopped. But equally, all things considered, Man U could get up for that. But then again, I would. If you're asking me what I would want, I'd rather City take the FA Cup because I don't want Man U getting a double and then being like, "Oh, we got
100%
from last year."
100%.
But I can see in a world where Man U does show up for one game and puts all of their eggs into that one game once they secure top 4. However, I think once they dispatch of Real Madrid and it all opens up, the title race will be a foregone conclusion because I think Arsenal's morale, no disrespect, will have completely fell out the arse end. Yeah. And then I also expect that they will think, all right, well, we're going to go for the Champions League and we're going to go for the Prem. No matter what happens, they're the trophies we take home this season. And then obviously the icing on the cake for them will be the FA Cup in that kind of in that hypothetical. But I think it's on par with what we was doing at this time last season, really.
Oh no, it's not on par. But I think the difference was we were running out of steam. They were running
they're getting
into steam.
Yeah. I completely.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
You can see that in the energy, the intensity, the score lines, the way that they're playing at the moment. You can see that from the outset, and that's what's scary about them. Because, as I said, with the amount of footy that's been played this season, you'd almost think it would be the other way around. You'd almost think they wouldn't have enough in the tank left. But the way that Pep Guardiola he's manipulated this squad and he's manipulated us all into a false sense of security.
100%.
We've all been, and do you know what? And again, not to throw shade. This is not. I think him knowing that it wasn't us where Arsenal are right now, he probably knew in the back of his mind.
He was calm.
Yeah, it's been hairy a little bit. Where he's seen the levels that Liverpool have pushed and probably thought, if I can do it and better a Liverpool side,
I can do it to anyone else. 100%.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and a lot of Man City, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of my Man City friends have said the same. They said, no, don't fear this, man. We're coming for them. If it was you, it would have been a different story. Yo, Zuberi, message me if you want to come on. I'll send you the link. If you're about, let me know. If you're settled and your Wi-Fi is everything. Let me know, Zuberi. Message me and I will send you the link. There was a where's that super chat gone, man? He said, don't disrespect Rodri and Partey. Bilal,
Partey.
Look, you all thought Partey was on Rodri's level. I didn't. For me, Rodri is the best DM in world football, bar none. For me personally, I hate showering Man City with praise, but Rodri is levels. But Partey has not come to the party in the last month or so.
A disaster. Literally collapsed. He's collapsed as a player. Maybe it's a pressure of being, the number 6 and having to hold it down every single game. But if you look at Rodri for Man City and you look at the amount of games he plays, he doesn't have anyone supporting him. Calvin Phillips is no help. So he has to play every single day.
Every single game.
Exactly. So that's why I don't want to give Partey any excuses in terms of, you've played too many games or you're this and that. No, for me, Partey has shown, I think, his true level. Not in terms of this is his actual level as a player. Obviously, he's better than what he's showing, but his true level in, when the moments are really big, when the moments are really tough, the true players rise. And in my opinion, out of this run of these last 4 games, I think the likes of Martinelli, he can hold his head up high. Saka to an extent can hold his head up high, although I do expect him to do better. But to be honest, apart from that, maybe Ben White at a push. I know he's got Holding next to him, and even Ramsdale, I know he's made a few mistakes, but the amount of saves that he's made, but as well he has made a few mistakes in those key moments. But to be honest, I look at.
Sorry, but go on.
Oh, go on. No, go on.
No, let you finish. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, a lot of these other players in the team have just let themselves down, and they've shown in these moments, and we're comparing them with the Liverpool teams that have come up against Man City, right? The Liverpool players are, they're big players. The Sane, the Salahs, the Manes, right? The Fabinhos, the Hendersons, the Wijnaldums when you had him, Van Dijk, all of these players rose when they had to actually rise. It's not when you play in January and December and February where, it's nice and easy, you get a 3 points, it's not much pressure. It's April. You have to win these games. And I think a lot of these players have shown that they've just not got it. I think today, if you guys go see that third goal, for De Bruyne. See what Odegaard does there. And I'm like, Odegaard, I've been praising you all season. Even yesterday I was defending him. And I'm like, to do that in such a big moment of the game, you know, and Partey, like, honestly, most of these players have shown they're just not ready. And that's what it is.
That was the point that I was going to make to you as well, to be fair. It's the fact that I don't particularly believe that this crop of players, as individuals, they might have had big moments or important moments of magnitude at other clubs, but they haven't had enough of those moments as a collective together for Arsenal, for me. And we've seen it before, like years gone by, and this is, you know, going back to Wenger times, you could almost start to predict when Arsenal's season would begin to unravel. Yeah. Arsenal fans will know it better than anybody else. But even as a fan, outside fan looking in with a close interest to Arsenal, you could start to predict now, season on season, where your season would start to become unraveled. And because towards the back end of the season, either got to a complacent point of sewing up top four, so there was nothing to really push you in the latter part of the season, or it now got to a point where top four wasn't an eventuality. So it was like, right, we're just going to make sure that we finish within the European spots. There hasn't been that need and that ultimate factor to push you on that next level, to really go deep into a season. I know you can go on an FA Cup run, but cup competitions are different. It's a different energy. It's a different momentum. So even last season, last season was good training wheels, but the pressure was not the same. The pressure to just get into top four after 5 years was just...
Even that pressure...
That's what I'm saying. You crumbled, but that's what I'm saying. And that was the first time as a collective you had that under the new look, the new fit Arsenal. So this season now, it looks unfortunate like it's going to be another learning exercise. It's how you harness that learning going forward, because there's a squad of players there that are capable now. And
I was going to say, I don't think it should be a look. We know how social media works.
Of course,
we know, and we know Arsenal are the king of givers as well. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have to take it. Yeah, Gandahar sends in a super chat as we welcome the captain into the building, Mr. Captain Zuberi. What are you telling me?
Hey, looking good, Arrow man. You're a legend, you know. Been seeing you in and around the place about 2 years, maybe a little bit more.
You ain't spoken.
No, we've never officially met. Now, I saw you Redman TV days and that, bro.
Yeah, man.
No, it was big. I like your voice and reasoning since then times, man.
Bro, come on. You already know. I already chill with the finest.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Now I saw you. I'm like, yo, Grizz send the link. Now I gotta jump on still. But Bilal, I'm gonna have to send. I'm gonna have to send you a package. I'm gonna have to send you a package to collect your tears, because they'll be worth millions in the future, man.
I'll give you
That's all I'm saying.
What's a bottle? I'll give you this bottle, man. All my tears in there, man.
Well, Grizz, we're looking good, you know.
We're gonna just let me just read out the super chat. I'm gonna ask your opinion, because I thought you were gonna come in firing and negative because we won today, but we get there. Saw some Arsenal fans berate our title, Gandahar says. Yeah, see, that's what I don't like about the Arsenal fans. Not Bilal, actually. Fair play to Bilal, he's a gem. But we know there's certain people in every fan base that just get way too ahead of themselves. They get carried away. There's no humility in their voices until they lose their voices. That's the only time they get humble, when they lose their voices, when they lose their pride. Saying it was a COVID-19 title, yeah, whatever, man. Like, people have been responding to that brother on AFTV who called it. Like, I didn't even respond. You already know I could have killed him. You already know I could have smashed him. But I didn't even want to quote it, just let people see it. I didn't want none of my family to see that. He's talking rubbish, trash. Why are you giving him space, airtime? Please, Grizz, remind them how many points we had. We were 25 points clear. How many? Certain teams don't reach that in the whole season. Certain teams in the past haven't reached that total in the whole season, and we were that many points clear. So don't tell me about COVID season, people. Like, learn life, talk sense. Otherwise, you're going to get ridiculed and smashed to bits all over social media, and then it's going to affect your mental state. And I don't want to go down that path and route, man. Respect this Liverpool team. Respect this manager. Respect this club.
You damage their own mental state. A lot of Arsenal fans were drinking the Kool-Aid, bro, and that's why I left them to it. I left them to drink the Kool-Aid because I knew that shit was gonna turn sour. And from when it turns sour, you're gonna feel sick. There's no two ways about it. I don't need to come down on you like a sledgehammer and make you feel a certain type of way, because your team are gonna do that.
Your team has done it.
Bilal, do I lie? Are you gonna struggle to sleep tonight, brother? Like, let's be real. Are you gonna struggle to sleep?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm sleeping. I knew Rob Holding was already doing his man. He scored, you know. I couldn't believe it. But at the end, then he gave an assist to Haaland like 2 minutes later. I'm like, yeah, well done.
Back to reality.
Yeah, back to reality. But you know what? Remember when Liverpool were winning the league, right? I remember when COVID first came, and everyone's like, yeah, stop the league. Void, null and void. Because Liverpool already won the league by then. And we already knew, like, Man City, that was too much. And Liverpool were too good. It wasn't like Arsenal now, where little injury here and there, and the team's done up. You know what I mean? And when we talk about big players, I can only put my hand on heart and say 3 players at Arsenal that I know will make it to the top, barring any injuries. Like Martinelli, Saka, Saliba. These 3 players, whether it's at Arsenal or elsewhere, they're making it to the top of football. Yeah.
That's fair.
But the rest of the team, to be honest, a lot of these guys, Gabriel Jesus, we spent £45 million on you, my guy. You know, you left Man City. You've got to prove a point.
These are some uncomfortable conversations, because Gabriel Jesus was supposed to be, you know what I mean, your shining knight in armor. No, have I said that right? Your knight, your shining knight. How did I fucking mess that up? Look what I just said there, people.
Because it's not true, you know, Grizz. He was never that.
He's actually the shining knight in armor. That's right.
Nah, Grizz. Yeah. He was never that. It was never that. That's why, yeah. The universe couldn't allow you to put that on him. He was never that, you know. To be fair, because if you look at Brazil as a nation, he's actually behind Richarlison guy. So,
deep that.
And he hasn't even scored a goal all season, bear in mind.
So, Grizz, I know you probably want the Liverpool take, but let's just, you know, bask in the moment that, Errol, you talk about Kool-Aid and getting sour. I've been drinking Kool-Aid for time and fruit juice. I didn't even know Kool-Aid got sour till Arsenal get the Kool-Aid. So
I'm telling you, this Arsenal, man. No, listen.
Only Arsenal can make Kool-Aid go sour.
That's it. That's it.
You know, it's gonna be a hard. It's gonna be a hard pill to swallow. Right.
No, I don't think it is anymore, though, Grizz, because the 3 draws consecutively have softened the blow. Because where we went to toe-to-toe to the last day, and if we wouldn't have had the Champions League final to kind of pick us up after the last day, it would have been a blow last season because of the amount of times it's happened again. We almost had the belief that we want the biggest one anyway. Do you get me? And then obviously that doesn't happen. And then that's when you start to think about the whole season as a whole, and you're trying to find positives somewhere, and you're trying to stay upbeat. And we do the whole parade situation. Whereas this Arsenal team, they've been slowly just dipping. And any reasonable Arsenal fan, Bill, you might be able to attest to it, has probably gone from having that international break, thinking as long as we get to City with it to play for, we'll do City something, to now knowing after those 3 draws, in all likelihood it's probably asking too much to do something against City, and if we don't, it's done. So the next 5-6 games, there's no real pressure. I think the shackles can be off Arsenal again. I think you'll probably get a release out of Arsenal's life, because they're like, well, we're just playing for vibes again now. When we play for vibes, we do all right. We do our thing.
Well, before we tuck into the main event, even though we weren't the main event, we're still the main event. Before we get into talking the main event, Liverpool, West Ham, Bilal, your final thoughts on... Look, it's easy to say from looking from the outside and not being an Arsenal fan, but and a lot of Arsenal fans can take offense or call me or whatever they want to call me. But I genuinely think this has been a good season for you. You're ahead of schedule. You're finishing ahead of every other team, apart from possibly the best club side the Premier League has ever seen. Possibly, I'm saying, guys, possibly.
Probably, yeah.
Possibly, and I'm just saying possibly. There's a question, there's a conversation, especially if they win the treble and 3 titles in a row. They're the only team that can talk to you, really. Or are you hurting? Are you disappointed this is your best opportunity, you're never going to have a chance like this again? Or are you going to rise again?
Yeah, I don't subscribe to people say we'll never have a chance again, because if we went by that logic, then this season there would be no title challenge, right? And the team, yes, I can go with the positives first. And the team is young. You know, the team has stars, young stars, 21 to 25 years old that can grow and build. You add a few more players to that, and you go again. It's possible. Why not? You can go on another challenge with Man City. Maybe go a step further this time and not, you know, completely dive even before you've played the main game, which is this game. You know, but really and truly for me, I look at it with Mikel Arteta. And so far, and Arsenal fans will hate me for saying it, but every single time we've had an important game, we've lost, right? And you know me, I didn't even care about the Europa League, but Arteta did. So I'm judging him on the Europa League semi-final against Villarreal Sporting this season, right? Every time he's wanted to win a game, he somehow found a way to lose. You know, last season, top four. What happens? Tottenham 3-0. And yes, I'll talk about, for me, the likes of Rob Holding, you know, he's an issue in the team. But at the end of the day, who's giving him the position in the team? Is it not the manager? Arteta's giving him the contracts. At one stage, I'm pretty sure Holding could have went to Newcastle. You know, Arteta's told him, no, stay. It's giving him a contract, giving him a place in the squad. Once you have a place in the squad, listen, there's every bit of a chance you're going to play, you know, because after Saliba is him. So, yeah, there's a big chance he's going to play. And I think there's a bit of a uncomfortable conversation there for Arsenal fans. I'm not saying sack Arteta. I think that's not fair, right? But at the same time, I'm saying let's have a conversation, because every single time we've needed to win a game, we've needed to do something. Arteta has shown tactically as well that he's not been able to work it out in the toughest moments.
Whoa, Bill, can I ask you a question? Whoa, that's his mud.
That's what I'm saying, Zubair. Captain,
Grizz,
that's me as well.
Grizz, deep this, Grizz. I'm coming out the trenches on this one.
I just deep that, what you just said there as well.
City had that issue when Arteta was there.
You're saying Arteta was feeding Pep? Wrong info.
No, don't do this, man. Don't do this, man.
No. I'm not trying to plug. I'm just saying, Billa, as an Arsenal fan, because you've seen it now at your club. And City are doing that. We probably got rid of the problem. City is moving on. We probably got rid of the problem.
No, don't go there, man. No. It's too early.
He's young.
For me, that's a bit too
he's
far.
Young. All I'm saying is, as a fan, is that something you'll be keeping a watchful eye on next season?
No, I'm keeping an eye on how Arteta is going to develop as a manager now, because next season is the season where I think he's going to be truly judged. Champions League football, Champions League transfer budget. He's going to get his players. He's going to get his players in the summer. He's going to have a squad to go on again in the Champions League and the Premier League. Next season, he's going to be judged. He's been given so much time, right? And I'm telling you now, if it wasn't for COVID and it wasn't for lockdown, there's one stage where Arsenal didn't win a game for 3 months where 100% he would have got sacked if fans were in the stadium. It's what...
No, go on, carry on, sorry.
Yeah, no, so for me, as I said, Arteta, long story short on him, he needs to develop as a manager. He needs to show us that in the big moments, you're able to be a bit flexible and actually change something in game as well. Because Arsene Wenger, the reason why in the end he couldn't, move past just getting top four was because he was inflexible. He was just a stubborn man, But we will put it down to his age and, it's Wenger. He's from a different era and he's our legend. We'll give him a break. But Arteta, you're a young manager. You've got to show us something different when we're playing the likes of South. Listen, guys, West Ham, Liverpool, Southampton.
I'm sorry. Look, I'm with Ajlan here. Stop this. This is raw. It's raw. You're just talking because you're hurt.
No,
I'm Captain piling on because that's what Captain does. Yeah,
I hear that.
Now, Errol, I don't know what his theory is on Arteta, but everything that you've said in the last couple of sentences, right, is the logical and rational way of looking at it. He's young. He's learning. He's punched above all of the teams that I've just mentioned. Wait, he's only finishing behind, as I said, possibly the greatest squad, greatest team the Premier League's possibly ever seen, especially if they get another run-up. I don't know how many points they can rally up if they win every single game. I expect them to win every single game to the end of the season. So can someone let me know how many points they end up with a game consecutively?
I think with this, though, it's not about where he gets judged next season. I think he's built a rod for his own back next season. I think that's probably the predicament, especially with the way Arsenal fan base is, because your fan base as a whole is so flip-floppy, out and in with the tide like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. Don't be that, Bilal. Don't be that.
I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I think our fans love Arteta. Sorry to butt in. Our fans, listen, you start saying anything negative about Arteta, it's like North Korea. It's like a bit of criticism. No, you can't say this. Arteta's the oracle. He's the man who's going to do this and that. I'm telling you now, for me as an Arsenal fan, I feel like it's a little minority of Arsenal fans, even when they criticize Arteta a little bit, might get a bit of, attack.
But that Champions League will breed that you'll see true colours starting to come out again, because you will believe you have that heritage all over again. You'll believe that there's the re-established placement back where you belong. And if you get done over by Lyon, or if you get done over by Porto at any point, or not necessarily done over in a way where it's not a respectable scoreline, but a game where you think, we deserve to be beating these, and he doesn't quite get it right. And the league form has also taken a little bit, not necessarily a dip, but he's haven't kind of got the momentum early doors in the league next season. There will be an underbelly of grumbles from Arsenal fans, and I think that's where he's built that rod for his own back, because you get time when you win things ultimately, and because he's only won that one FA Cup. Yes, he's probably done, he's reached his objective this season, and that'll be the narrative, that'll be the spin. He's got you into top four, which is what you have wanted. I think you would have been better served now if it ends the way, if the league ended tomorrow, and obviously, the games in hand, Man City was to win them, Man City win the league, you should probably be better served finishing fourth, because you would have much more breathing space next season to really manoeuvre. Whereas by that finishing second, falling off in the way that you have, and then not being able to actually level up next season, potentially, who knows? In a hypothetical where he doesn't level up, that is going to be a very difficult, he's going to back himself into a corner, because there is going to be an expectation that you have to deliver something. And in order for you to believe that, what's he done in Europe, that you can believe that he's going to be able to deliver any more in the Champions League, the evidence is thin on the ground. The Premier League now is only going to get more competitive. Newcastle are in the ascendancy. Newcastle look fantastic at the moment. Let's have it.
They're a serious player, bro.
Serious player, bro.
They're a serious player now.
Proper respect on Newcastle's name right now.
100%.
The only way that it's turned around is the Newcastle and Brighton have taken Liverpool right now and Spurs' place. What they was doing 12 months ago almost. That's like the only real change to the Prem. But the levels are going to go up again,
guys. We must move on. Bilal, we're going to have plenty of time to talk about, of course, I don't know if you're in the call-in show this Saturday, but you may have some hefty call-ins this Saturday. Captain, are you joining us this Saturday? Are we back?
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, we're back.
I'm not sure where I'm going to be streaming from, but I'm there in the flesh, man.
All right, we're back. All right, listen, let me go through a few super chats before we go into the main event
of the evening.
Noor Beats, our very own Noor, is in the building. He says, respect Klopp, please. Respect Klopp, please. I think there's a lot of respect. People are going to realize even people like Zuberi is going to put some respect.
Negative. Negative, sir.
Anyway. Usam Chatila says, I told you last time Arsenal had to beat Liverpool to put some doubt in City's mind. You failed the test. Sticking with City for 3 years is very tiring. Hard luck. Darwin and son of Grizz Teta says, Grizz, are you happy City are going to win? Banter us now. No. I'm not happy. I'm not sad. I'm immune to it, bro. This is what they do, Man City. This is what they do. We told you so. For a little while, I thought Arsenal might do it, but this is what City do, bro. Arteta was the doubt in Pep's head. I'm backing Zoobs, Noor is backing you. No, man, don't do this, people. Less of the conspiracy theories. Come on, tonight.
I mean, we were right about Potter.
Listen, forget about Potter. Forget about all these dead clubs.
Yeah, let's move on from that pain event to the main event.
The pain event to the main event. This is what I like to hear. Liverpool travelled to West Ham. I'll start with you, Captain. Everyone talking about the kit. Everyone talking about our away form. Everyone talking about the selection. No Ibu, who's probably our best centre-back this season. No, has been our best centre-back this season. Aerial domination of Antonio and Souček and all these man Rice. Yeah, we're going to get bombarded. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed watching us today. Did you? enjoy watching us today?
In some moments, yes. I like this new setup where there's like that double pivot with Trent and Fab. Really like that. That show, I don't know if he was forced into that, which it looked like he was. So I did like that. The two in front of that pivot, though, looking tasteless. Errol, forgive me, man, but you know I come down hard on these players, man. Jones, Grizz, you already know how I feel about Jones.
I'm gonna fight you till death do us part today about Curtis Jones today.
Listen,
let me have your say.
Grizz, I'm not gonna hit you with the heritage. I'm not gonna carry you from glory days or none of that. I have class. I have class. Jones ain't even on form, and he's not even class. So what are we really entertaining, Grizz? At least Henderson had class.
Run up Curtis Jones' stats for me, Bill, if you can, yeah? I'm going to tell you now, in that first half, Trent Alexander, call me Pirlo, call me Riquelme, call me Zidane, call him what you want. Call him Kevin De Bruyne. Trent Alexander-Arnold in that first half, and the majority of the game ran the show. He was ably assisted by Curtis Jones, who had a wonderful game, in my humble opinion. I totally disregard and ignore your comments and the hatred on him. You're running up an agenda. I don't like this side of you. You're running up an agenda on a young lad who's been hella pressure today, all season, coming back from injuries, 4th start in a row. Today, the guy played nice. He didn't play amazing. He didn't play great. But remember how we used to talk about Gini Wijnaldum? Gini Wijnaldum played nice today. Gini Wijnaldum done the role today that Jurgen Klopp asked of him. That was him today, Curtis Jones. His ability to hold on to the ball, his ability to hold off players, his counter-pressing today, knowing when to bring down players, his calmness on the ball. He dragged us 5-10 yards every time he got the ball today. Today, I'm not letting you rip Curtis Jones.
It wasn't a rip. I was just giving you my take that the two in front of the pivot.
Hendo
was more. No, it's ugly. Not a rip, you know. I just want you to hear me clearly.
Hendo was ugly.
I just need more because those two tactically find themselves in a position where creating should be easier as long as they have the quality and probably popping a goal or two. So I'm not expecting Curtis to do all of this. All I'm saying, when they find themselves in those positions, more is required.
Yo,
do you understand what I'm saying now?
94% pass accuracy, 3 chances created, and more importantly, 2 fantasy points.
2 fantasy points.
Yo.
Errol, but I'm not saying anything outrageous.
Okay, me and Captain argue like this, right, Errol, man? I don't know. We need a
Errol,
third
let me bring the question to you. Because Grizz is saying I'm running up the agenda. He likes to bait people in. He likes to bait people in to think there's an agenda. All I'm saying,
I didn't even bait you. You done it yourself.
Errol, from a footballing stance, you have 2 in a pivot and you have 2 in front of them, kind of KDB-esque area. All I'm saying, with this new system, Klopp is running. I'm a big criticism of I critique Klopp a lot. And I love this new system. And within this new system, I would say the 2 behind the striker, Jones and Hendo, are required to do more based on this new system. That's all I'm saying.
You've changed it a bit now. Hold on. Before you go, Errol, and this is next segment's all yours. Before you go, he's changed it now. This is what he does. He's changed it. He's moved it. He's changed his statement. Bare people are backing me today. I'm not backing Zoobs. Noor backed you in the other argument. So we know Noor is neutral.
Nah, Noor be shaky with the statements still.
Nah. Listen, you've labeled Hendo in there. So what you've tried to do is capture people's imaginations and drag Henderson and Jones in the same, because Henderson was ugly. And Henderson got dragged after 50 minutes or 55 minutes or whatever. Curtis Jones, for a 22-year-old kid, he's growing. He's growing off the pitch, on the pitch, mentally, physically, and intelligently, game intelligence-wise as well. He didn't light up today, but he was, in my humble opinion, very pivotal. Errol, me and Captain ain't biting
in. In a season where we've struggled to win away from home and that Curtis Jones comes in and he gets the job done 1-1.
that agenda.
Nah, I'm only messing. My thing is, and I'll be completely real with you. I understand what Derby's saying, and I think from that perspective, it's the question for me turns into what is the more that you want? Because I almost see them as a protective screen, which enables Trent to be the deep-lying midfielder and the playmaker from that position. So when I say that, it's almost like they both acquire the half and half of the Genie role. Now, Genie wasn't prolific for creating chances and wasn't prolific for splitting the lines and playing the ball forward. But what he was enabling to do, especially in the early part of when we had the likes of Coutinho, was being able to protect the ball enough to be able to get the ball moving through the gears from our perspective. So players like Coutinho could pick up the ball. And then eventually, when Coutinho left, we had the fullbacks, and he was able to allow them to get as high up the pitch as possible. And he was able to fill in and plug in those gaps. Mm-hmm. So to me, I feel as though we're using extra legs now, which is probably my only criticism of this new system, is that we're using extra legs to be able to do what we was able to do with one man two and a half seasons ago. And it's great that we're being able to give the more freedom to Trent, and Trent's not got so much pressure going the other way. But I still feel that forward ball and the splitting the lines is always, if Trent's in that midfield, he's the guy. It doesn't matter who else is around them. Even like Thiago in the team today. Thiago was next to him at one point, and this was towards the latter ends of the match. Thiago was next to him at one point. He moves the ball out to Trent. Trent plays the ball over a diagonal over the top. Thiago's got that in his locker, but the requirement is no longer on the midfielders that are, the typical midfielders to execute. If Trent's in that space, we have to utilize Trent to move the ball forward. Otherwise, it becomes a wasted system for us. So, go on, Congress.
Sorry. Now, I was going to say, look, I don't want to get into a debate. Like, the captain's dragged me into it. All right, big up Zuberi for dragging me in. You know what I mean? In a post-match reaction show where we've won, I'm not getting dragged into a Curtis Jones debate. Yeah, I'm not. I done it, but I regret it.
Grizz, it's not about Jones. No. It's about the two.
It's not about. I know.
So in the game, we could have gotten more from the two. That's all I'm saying about the game.
Here I'm saying. I think today you're picking on the wrong two to criticize. I think it's the other two. Gakpo was good. I thought Salah and Jota were.
And Jota was lacking.
Salah and Jota were the horrendous ones.
Missing chances.
But you don't want to go down that route because you're picking on Jones.
It's a build-up. It's a build-up. It's the main event. You can't just go to the knockout punching and come back to the blows earlier. It's the build-up.
I need to speak. We all need to speak. We all of us. We need to speak on Trent Alexander, the great Arnold. He's moving me in this role. It's early. I know you're looking for flaws. Every fan base does that. Opposition, 100%. And even Liverpool fans will look to the things that he didn't do well. Because there is a couple of things that he didn't do well. There is going to be a few adaptation system flaws. Not just with Trent, but with the right side centre-back. With Robertson playing in a hybrid, left centre-back, left wing-back, whatever. With your two in front of the two. There's going to be adaptation issues, problems. But this guy's ability on the ball is getting better and better. The way he broke lines with the most nonchalant passes that, to me, you ordinary people, we're looking at it like, yeah, but on the pitch, you know how much the players appreciate those passes. You know the likes of Gakpo, Salah, Jota, they didn't capitalize as much as they should have. Curtis Jones, Henderson. To break lines with the kind of passes Trent was pulling off today. I was moved, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. And I've been having conversations and debates about should Trent play here, should Trent play there. This kid has got elite potential. I'm not saying he's an elite player, full stop, and he's conquered football and he's run. This is him. He's got elite potential. How elite is up to him now and the coaches that coach him for the next 3 or 4 years because he's still 24 or something. How old is he, Errol? Something like that?
Yeah, 24.
Yeah, 24 going 25 someday.
Yeah. He's
no time soon, I don't hope.
He's still got 2-3 years ahead of him, bro. That he needs to be coached because the potential of this guy is ridiculous. I just wanted to speak on Trent Alexander-Arnold.
No, let me follow on the back of that, man, because we have these moments where we go head to head, and then we have these kumbaya moments. This is one of them. But you made 2 mistakes, Grizz, and I just want to pull you up on it, and I'm gonna continue with Trent. I see you try to purchase an insurance policy where you're saying there's flaws and there could be flaws and criticism. The answer to that is 0. There's none. Man is flawless. Don't you ever speak about Trent like that in midfield. Man is flawless. And I should know, man is flawless. I try to find a flaw, didn't see one. Sorry. You're talking about he's elite, and it's early. Don't do that, bro. Man is already there. Man is already there. Trent have arrived. I'm telling you right now, Grizz, you can go to bed sleeping with this. It's very nice. Trent have arrived. I'm not pressuring him. I'm letting you know right now. The way the man look in midfield is very natural.
I want to get Errol's thoughts on it as well. I was very run through this super chat. It says, Hussam Chatila says, I agree with both of you, Grizz and Zoobs. However, only criticism I have is he needs to find a pass quicker and make the right option. Me personally, I feel Bajcetic will do a bit in Jones' role. He's talking about Curtis Jones.
Yeah, he's talking about Curtis. Yeah, I noticed that.
Okay, no problem. Look, I'm not here to talk down on any players today, especially a young man like Stefan Bajcetic, whatever, but I'm not as convinced as many of you are. I rate him. I think he's got huge potential. But a lot of you speak highly of him. I think. Go on, Errol.
No. It's just interesting. I almost want to hear from Bilal about Trent and this. Have you seen a switch?
When you get a chance today, Bills, I know you was focusing on what did you call it, Captain? What did you call it?
Pain event.
I was watching clips already of the game. While you guys were talking, I was looking at
watch a compilation video of Trent today, and then we talk about it later on in the week, possibly.
Trent, just to quickly say, like Errol, I've always said it. Like Trent is, for me, I love him so much. Like he's that player that I was saying, if it's not going to work out at Liverpool, and I'm kind of gutted deep down that Liverpool fans like him again, because I wanted to see Trent somehow end up at like a Barcelona or something and just see how his game would just completely, develop. But if Liverpool are going to develop him as well in that way, then cool, do it, because what you've got there, I know Grizz is saying potentially an elite this, and Zoob was right. He's already an elite footballer. You can't find many players who can do what he does. I can't really think of any in his position as well. The way you can actually use him tactically. If you're a team like Liverpool who are gonna dominate most games, and next season you're gonna get even better. If Konate can stay injury free, and if you can, for me, get another centre back as well to grow with Konate in the future. The potential for Trent in that, inverted role. I know people say, why don't you just play him in midfield and get a normal, right back? For me, it's not the same.
I want to ask Errol about that when he cuts to it. Sorry, Bill, you finish. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not the same, because the dimension a player like Trent can give you on top of a midfield, that in the top of a beast defense at the same, it's a joke. And the way Liverpool play with Klopp, with that direct style of play, with the strikers that you guys have, and the way Klopp's teams always want to find the goal, they're hungry for the goal. I think Trent, I saw that first goal with Gakpo already breaking the lines, and it's a great finish by Gakpo. And I just think, honestly, now, if it's good to see Trent in this kind of moment towards the end of the season as well, because now going into the summer, I think that helps Liverpool as well in terms of how you're going to now recalibrate your squad and then go on for next season. So, yeah, don't sleep on Trent. I don't think anyone should. He's just top. He's top.
Errol, Bilal knows the game, man. But Errol, we're going to do more shows during the summer about what do we think about bringing in a fullback and putting him permanently there, or does this suit him? And we'll get into that later. But just today, did you appreciate those breaking the lines passes?
I've been saying it to you as I've been saying it. I am ready for us to transition from being creative fullbacks as our driving force to having someone in the middle of the park that can pick the lock. And I've never really been overly precious about the personnel that does that, but I've acknowledged that we need to move and almost evolve into that type of team, because the fullbacks for me should be secondary creators within this side. They should be doing the numbers that they do when they're in form is phenomenal, but we shouldn't be overly reliant on it, because once that becomes kind of either stagnant or we get pinned back and we're not able to, explode and be explosive from those areas, we offer very little in the middle. Whereas when you can invert Trent in the way that he's been deployed recently, it adds, as Bilal said, adds a different dimension. That extra dimension that we've got now is reminiscent of 13-14 Steven Gerrard, where he was just playing that playmaker role. And he didn't necessarily have the legs. And this is where Trent obviously does have. He's got that athleticism. He's coming into his prime.
And you know what? He was on it in terms of that, what you're saying. You know, the energy, the pressing, the counter-pressing. He looked engaged. He looked, Errol, he looked like born again, man. He was like, he was enjoying his football.
Comfortable. And I think this is one of the things that's he's probably felt. And again, I don't know the player, don't know the setup, don't know how things work internally. But it looks from the outside looking in that there's been a level of, I'm shackled right now. I know I can give more and offer more, but I'm required to do not less, but I'm required to do it in a different way. And I personally feel as though doing it in a different way, I am becoming more of a hindrance than a help to the team at times, because I'm always willing to offer myself offensively, but my desire is not always to naturally be switched on to plug that gap. And I've been so reliant and used to other players helping me in that position, plugging it with me, doing that teamwork. That right-hand side this season has not been as cohesive as it's been in recent seasons. There's been massive holes in that right-hand side, whether that's personnel, whether that's fitness, whether that's aptitude, whatever it is, it's just been lacking for too long. And Trent's been almost scapegoated as the cause or the root cause of that. And he's never really been the root cause, because we know it's an instruction for him to be where he is on the pitch. What we are now seeing in Trent is the belief in himself that he backed himself from day one. This kid's never doubted he's got it. He's never doubted he's capable. It's just in which way does he get used? And now he's being used like that. He's got that screen. He's got that little bit of protection. He's in his bag. Right now, he's killing it because he's in his bag. He's feeling himself again. Like, bro, I'll take you right now. I got fresh braids 2 days ago, bro. I have not been feeling myself like this all year. You know it's different. You know it's different when you just end up in your bag. Trust me, different settings.
Okay. The energy is different,
different, bro. Come on. The fade, the beard, everything lock off.
Ready.
Grizz, man have arrived, you know.
Ready. And like ready.
Almost summer body settings ready, all of them ones. Wait, like that is what I'm getting from Trent right now, and I'm happy to finally see it, because I love nothing more than to see the young lad coming up from Liverpool, putting on for his city and actually representing Liverpool to the highest level. Not many people come in and do that. No matter, you feel that same level of pride for Saka, Bilal. Do you know what I mean? Like watching homegrown, there's nothing better. So yeah.
Let your praise hang around.
It's got to be double. Yeah, but that's the vibe I'm getting from Trent right now, and I'm just made up to see it, because he's been under a lot of scrutiny, not from just his peers, but from pundits and fans around the world. So I genuinely believe that if he can continue on this form, there is going to be serious conversations come the summer about, as you said, Grizz, how do we now recalibrate? How do we now fix a squad that enables us to get the best out of him on a long-term basis in this particular role?
There's some conversations to be had, and you already know, people, we're going to have them on Football Khanage throughout the summer. There's going to be some serious conversations to be had about how do we see things going forward in terms of the transfer market now with the Trent evolution, the positional sense, where do we play him, the role he has, all of this business. Look, a rookie says, look, evening, lads, hope you all, I hold my hands up. I was one of those doubting Trent, but he looks fantastic last few games. Some much energy, and the speed of passing is fantastic. I just love the way he controlled the pace, Captain. I like that about him, even at a young age.
Press resistance.
He was controlling the pace. He's going to give the ball away a couple of times, but so does KDB, so does Odegaard, so does whoever you want to talk about in other teams that has that role to be the X factor. They all, Bruno Fernandes,
Ramirez,
all of them, Madison.
Yeah, they all do. The My only concern with that and on that particular comment is the area in which the ball gets lost for Trent.
That's it.
And that's what we do have to highlight.
He has to be careful.
He could be, yeah. But the fact that he's getting that right now, the season isn't on fine tender hooks in the same way that seasons have gone by. So I'm happy that he learns when not to lose the ball as well. And I think that's going to be also an important lesson for him, because those players like Maddison and Bruno's, they can lose the ball 10 to 15 to 30 yards further up the pitch. Trent will...
And that'll come. And the more we play this role. Listen, by the way, people, that's 5 assists now in his last 4 games. Wait. Hold on. 5 assists. You know, people dream about, fullbacks or players dream about getting assists. This guy is breaking records at the speed of knots, and you lot sitting here telling me about Vinicius Jr. ripped him. Bro, Vinicius Jr. would rip up prime anyone.
Everyone.
He's kind of unstoppable to watch, Vinny.
He'd do Roberto Carlos. Like he would. He'd have him on.
Bro, this got 5 assists in the last 4 games. That's what you call reinventing himself, his game, his energy, his psychology. Do you know how deep that is for a young player? Just come to the net when you've been blasted from all angles, and I'm talking all angles. Forget toxic fan bases. I'm talking about Liverpool fans finishing you off, coaches, ex-players doing videos about how to play. If I was Trent, I would tell him to play like this and be like this. You see them videos going around, like Gary Neville coaching session and Carragher and Jamie Redknapp, whoever, Keown telling him, you got people like, what's his name, Jason Cundy saying, no. But this guy, man, appreciate
these man all there, man, couldn't lace his boots. In terms of pound for pound talent, these man critiquing him. Same way with the fans, no one could lace his boots.
No, so it's a truth, but I think I've always believed it's an indictment on the England manager and our current manager. And it's not to shade them both or put them in the same kettle of fish or nothing like that. It's just when you have a player like that, our system wasn't necessarily tailored around him being the tip of the spear or the driving force, but he was a key component. But now we're starting to realize he's even more important than we even thought. We've just had him at right back, and he was doing the madness. And he's a player that we can put anywhere and even get more madness. Like Grizz said, man, I felt like he was confined to just that space in that area. And Grizz,
we totally release him.
Grizz, let me let you know a little fact. Rashford only cooked him in Rashford breakout season. That was the only cook for that year. He also pocketed Sane that same year. Vinicius, what I'm trying to do is show you he hasn't been cooked by 5 players in 5 years. So any cooking argument you come in with Trent, in his career so far, he's not been cooked by 5 players in the past 5 years. So any man talk about, he's cooked, it's not week in, week out. It's once a season. It's an average of once a season. Man playing 45 to 65 games a season. And you're going to pull one game?
No problem. Let's give him 4 games, 5 games. No problem.
But even if we give him 4, Grizz, it still doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
So you're telling me, Grizz, when you're telling me the man is elite trying to be modest. No, Grizz, rip your shirt off. Go, wow, the guy's there. He's arrived.
I'm going to do that soon.
Okay. I just want to let people know. That's my right back. That's my captain. Trent. Not quite there yet, but my captain.
This season's a bit of a humbler still, so I'm not ready to rip off and show my.
I know. That's why I'm here.
I know. You do that. But listen, we took a dagger early on, but it didn't finish us off to the heart. Another deflected goal. It looked like a bad boy strike. I don't know what you guys thought. I thought Alisson...
Was it deflected? I thought it was a bad boy strike. It was deflected.
It was a bad boy strike. Do you think it had any effect?
Was bad boy, but it takes a slight nick on its way through.
Okay.
I think from
Alisson unsighted. Do you think?
I think he has to be. Otherwise, I think he could be doing better. If I'm being brutal.
Yeah, that's what I felt. So I'm glad you guys cleared it up. Thank you for clearing that up.
So they put a couple of passes together. Paqueta, all right, no problem.
The thing that disappoints me is I'm at that point in our season now, or at the point with Liverpool, where we should just be giving the team a goal before we walk out onto the pitch. Let's just give them the goal and let's just put it there so we know what the task is at hand. Because I'm fed up of how easy the goals are coming for opposition teams. That's what pisses me off more than anything else. And I don't want to take anything away from West Ham's goal because they worked it beautifully in order to get to that point. But again, the lack of aggression from us to cut out those first balls.
I agree with you. But it wasn't. I think it was much better. I agree with you for that incident.
It might have been, but yeah, it just doesn't sit right with me, Grizz. After everything that we've been through this season, it still don't sit right.
Overall, we're not that mean, nasty machine to play against that we want to get back to. But I seen glimpses, 100%. The second half against Arsenal, I seen glimpses. Against Forest, it was a calm performance. It wasn't great. Who's the other team that we beat, man, in between?
Leeds, 6-1.
Leeds, I seen it. Right, aggression, and today I seen it. West Ham on a good roll,
Yeah,
West Ham on a good.
We gave them life. We gave them life, man.
You guys gave them life, innit, bro?
Differently, Bill out differently. Yeah. Some of them West Ham fans have come with the most chest.
So I
Conference League.
I seen them come a bit, and the crowd was up for it. And as I said, but I thought our counter pressing was impressive today. And Jurgen Klopp apparently said it in the after match interview where he said, "I really enjoyed our first half more than the first half." So we go up the other end and we score. That's a Gakpo goal, Yes. Gakpo, captain. My thoughts on him before he came. I don't think he was great, but I said he's going to be effective for us and he's going to score a couple of bangers. He scored a couple of bangers already for us. I said he's going to score bangers for Liverpool. Yeah, but his overall game, I'm not ready for. But he's improving that side. He done a lot of bits that gave me a lot of encouragement. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm not going to be bitter. Man is humble enough to say he's showing me bits.
No, I'm glad you've seen it. And I've seen it before he came, by the way, and you know this. And I'll put his insurance in there. It's not his position. But I do want to credit him one thing, and it's not to take shot at the other man. We brought Nunes in, and he was there. And I know there's a language barrier, new team, price tag, people looking because Haaland went the other way. He never really made the position his. And for Gakpo to come in January, and I think he's on about 5-6 goals now. And
bro, he's on 6 league goals already. First season
from January. I don't know what Nunes is on from September, but the point I'm trying to make here, Grizz, is that's not his position. And he's actually giving it a good 60 minutes every game. Every game, you're getting a good 60 minutes out of him in that position. I'm not going to do the Gakpo thing to pull clap down or the tactics down because he's new in there. So for a guy to come into a team and you're going to get a good positive half out of him, at least 45 minutes, that's all you can ask for a new guy.
And coming in the worst time as well.
In the worst season as well. And this guy is a shining light, dragging the team up there. We go down 1-0, gets it, boom, turn. Smash one in like, yo, let's go.
I like his shooting.
I'll make a big statement before I bow out.
Yeah. Errol's got to leave us in a couple of minutes. So go on, Errol, with a statement, man. Hit us.
I genuinely believe at this point now, based on what I've seen from Gakpo, different points in time, but if we got this version of Gakpo last season, he would have been more effective for us than Luis Diaz was the same time last season. I genuinely believe that.
Even with Monday up front, and then
hey, Bilal, the man spoke. That's it.
He's a better fit for us, and he's got more of an output. Diaz is explosive and he's elusive, but he's not the team player in the same. And again, I know maybe I'm thinking, because I'm not seeing Diaz to explode and express himself.
No, I'm following track.
Can you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah. Diaz is that maverick that will do it by himself. Gakpo's the guy that will do it with the team and for the team.
I think he's the glue. I think he knits things a little bit better when you're looking at the rest, as opposed to when Diaz has got the ball, he's amazing. But it's like, well, what are you? You're either going to have to run 20 yards and take it past 3 man and score, or what is it that you're going to do? I'm not 100% sure what the output is. And he had some great moments last season. I don't want to take that away from him, but I just think if he was to swap,
think on it. No, you know what? What a way to bow out, Errol. We are always humbled with your presence. Love speaking to you, all things football in Liverpool. I know you got things to do early in the morning, so big up yourself, big up your breads, big up your hairstyle, big up your beard, big up everything, and we catch up real soon. All right, take care, my guy. You know what? If Noor is watching, Bilal, and we always look for clips, we're gonna put that on the socials and say, what do you think about that?
Definitely.
Gakpo arriving at the same time as Diaz last season would have been more effective in Liverpool's pursuit of the quadruple, and maybe possibly would have got him over the line. I think that's what Errol was alluding to.
Yeah. At first, when he said it, I was like, I don't know. But when I thought about it a bit more, and I was thinking about some of Liverpool's games last season, even the draw against Tottenham, like Liverpool didn't really play that well, but Luis Diaz would do something. And it's one of those ones where maybe if Gakpo came in instead, and the way he could knit everything together, you see his game developing, Mane, Salah, maybe they would have got gelled a bit more together. And in that final against, obviously, Real Madrid, maybe a player like Gakpo could have been the difference more than, you know, a Diaz.
Interesting. It's a chat. Yeah. It's a chat. It's definitely a debate. Errol said something. I don't know. I think captain's gonna be. I don't know. Talk to me. Big up Sani in the chat as well. Let's get the likes up, people. He's right.
Yeah, big up. No, I agree with him. But here's the thing. It kind of takes us into that woulda, coulda, hindsight conversation, which is fine. It's one you have. You know, you talk about it, share your views, because it's not one that we would have known or could have known. Could have came in and just didn't quite fit in because the center was Mane and he was still doing like kind of what Nunes does, missing some key moments as well. Wasn't quite prolific with the finishing through the middle. It was better than the wing, but so we wouldn't know if Gakpo would have been needed to do what Diaz was doing, because towards the end, Diaz was the spark the team needed. So, but Grizz, it's a shout. I back the shout as well, but I'm very happy people are starting to see what I was seeing. I didn't expect him to play through the middle this long. I thought he would be doing like what Jota was doing, come off the left, you know, frequent the area from time to time with Diaz being out. But for him to come in and just be a 9, I think he's giving Klopp a new problem going into the summer. Klopp has a major problem going into the summer.
No. I'm not looking at a problem. I think a blessing. I think it's a blessing.
When I say problem, not in a problematic essence, but as a manager, those are the only problem you want to have. And it's a major one because you have 2 guys. Because let's not get wrong about Nunes, you know. He has the energy, the attitude, he's ready. But you can't just drag a man like Gakpo out the team if he's producing.
The Nunes conundrum, and people already started the chat about Nunes and how he fits in, because it seems like Jota has got a role into play. Now, he didn't have a good game today, but he's there always. He's always there. He didn't have a good game. He missed 2 open chances. I don't know how he missed the header and that ball that fall down to him. Diaz came on and looked smoky settings again. Yeah, it's like, I'm back. Coco, give me the ball. Let me do my shit. I'll drag a few players here and there. Diaz looked back. Yeah? So, Diaz looks back and he plays off the left. Jota, since he's come back, predominantly has been playing off the left and scored 4 or 5 goals since he's come back. Nunes has been the one that's been given the bench. When he comes on, he don't look red. He don't look. What was the word we used for Gakpo, and like in terms of helping the team, connecting?
Yeah, he doesn't. He
looks like the loose cannon. Well. Yeah, he looks like the loose cannon. So there is conversations. That's the problem for me. I don't think Gakpo is the problem for a headache for Klopp. I think Nunes is a headache for Klopp. Where does
I see what you're saying, and you know what's sad, man. Sometimes you have these quality players. They come into your team, and whether it's a language barrier, yeah, run a form, understanding of how to connect. It can take your quality down a couple levels, you know. And The scary thing is, Grizz, if Nunes comes in and he lets a football talk and he builds an understanding over the summer, when I'm telling you, Diaz doing what he does, that's because that's the only weakness in Diaz's game as well. It's connecting with the other players. If every one of them four gels and connect, that's a very good problem to have in the attack.
I've made a very big call already. You already know. I said next season we score the most goals. We might not win the league. We might not have the best transfer. I think we score the most goals next season.
4 players on 10 double figures.
I think
minimum.
They fully fit. Prayers up, man, that they stay fully fit. Diaz, Nunes, Jota, Salah, Gakpo. Right, and we don't know. There might be a young wild card in there. Whoever is a wild card, I don't know if Carvalho probably go on loan or whatever. But let's just say them 5.
Double figures in goals.
We're going to score the most goals next season in the Premier League.
I think Diaz will probably get the least out of all of them because if the way
possibly, you're right.
Up a proper Liverpool team, Klopp team, like I'd expect Nunes, Jota, Salah, Gakpo, all of these guys to be eating goals.
I wouldn't say the most goals because City have one man that can score.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
but I just want to put that in your head and then tell you I'm backing you because you know what? All of their goals will go to one man. When all of ours will be going to 5. I just want you to know that and then know that I'm backing that shout. I'm all in on that shout.
Rom's in the building. He says, smash the likes, people. He also says, Bill, I'll get that head up of yours immediately, bro. We've helped him, Roms.
Yeah,
if you're just coming now, we've helped him.
Nah, Roms, to be fair, I was kicking him still, putting things in his head that Pep is the weak link.
Wait, our call-in show, people, if you don't know, get to know. It's going to be a madness on Saturday.
Too funny.
I got a feeling this Saturday is going to be madness. I got a feeling all sorts of... Man,
by the way, Chelsea fans phone in. Chelsea fans, they don't want to phone in anymore.
Wait. 2 months we haven't had a Chelsea caller in,
Yeah, where are they?
Do you remember in the early part of the season, every other caller was a Chelsea fan?
Yeah, you know what's mad, Grizz?
You signing that. Show me your point.
You know what's mad?
Todd Bowley's, man, we're doing this, we're doing that. We got paper. You lot not ready for our riches. Bro. They lost 5 games in a row,
They lost today, and nobody knows.
2-0 to Brentford at home.
You know what is so sad? When you said, let's get to the main event, and I'm like, let's move on from the pain event. I was really talking about Chelsea, I wasn't even talking about Arsenal. But you didn't even consider Chelsea. No one... It's almost like Chelsea's in the championship.
We've forgotten about them.
They don't even make headlines, and they should be the talk of the town.
It's true. I used to get so much hate. Who was right all the time? You know how Zuberi predicted the downfall of Liverpool this season? I predicted the downfall of Chelsea. From early, I said long season, and they all laughed at me. Well, who's laughing now?
I used to get the table up just to have a look.
They're in 11th place after spending over $500 million in one season.
And next game is against the Arsenal team with no pressure anymore. I don't know. It might be a long day for them.
Nah, Bilal. I know you don't normally do this, so I want to purchase your insurance policy early. If Chelsea beat you, man will officially become the laughing stock.
No. We'll take it. I'll take it. We can't lose to them. No, we can't. That's him. But
Chris, can you imagine?
They're rudderless. Lampard is beyond clueless. Even us.
Did you see the team he picked today, people?
I'll get it up, and that is even the Champions League. Do you see the team against Real Madrid? That was the funniest lineup I've ever seen in my life.
Look, he done the same thing today. He had Sterling and Gallagher up front or something.
This is football.
This is not football. This is nastiness. Look, he's got Kante.
Wait, Kante is right with.
He put Kante and Gallagher as number 10s behind Sterling, who can't shoot.
This is what I was talking about when I said let's move from the pain event to the main event. This is pain.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Look at this, Lana. He's got Aspilicueta right wing.
Own goal today. This is beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. It just says something. I don't know. Is it Lampard or is it just a damning statement as well?
It's Lampard.
How much money? No, but listen, how much money?
Nah, Grizz,
on attackers?
We can't put the entire season on Lampard's head.
No, of course not. Of course not. We know. We've discussed all of that. But what I'm saying is that lineup is Lampard.
Yeah.
That tactic today is Lampard. That Harambo, that is Lampard today.
Aubameyang coming on, Mudryk, João Felix, Madueke, all of the attackers left on the bench. Who's taught him this football?
Nah, you know what? Plot twist. Ted Bowley is the manager. He's just using Lampard as the head.
You know what? It wouldn't fucking surprise me. He's talking tactics in the halftime. All right, guys. Kante, I got you in the 10. I want you floating around doing them flick offs. Kante's like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And he's telling Gallagher, yeah, I want you to spring the balls around behind, Sterling making those horizontal diagonal balls. Sterling and Gallagher and Kante, the front three, in a triangle.
I didn't think it could get worse than like Lukaku and Havertz and whatever they had going on, and they've somehow made it worse. But yeah, Chelsea are just a different kettle of finished. They're there.
They're the only thing that's keeping you like a little bit humid now, and us sane this season. Because if it wasn't for Chelsea, we'd be getting trolled even more.
Like today, though, I just want to bring this back to the game. I saw Thiago's handball towards the end. Is that a handball for you? That you got away with that? Maybe caught live.
Okay. So seasons gone by, every season gone by, up to this season, this would be a handball. But we have seen last 2 seasons, I'd say, in the history of football. In the history of football, it would be given handball. The last 2 seasons, my brother, and people in the chat, my brothers and sisters in the chat, we have seen far, far more blatant handballs or incidents of balls hitting the hand or hand hitting the ball, whatever way you want to look at it, not given. So on that basis, no, the right decision was made. But in the history of football, before season and a half, 2 seasons ago, that was handball.
I think they were robbed. I think they were robbed. I think they were 100% robbed. If his hand hit the floor before the ball hit him, I would have said right decision was made. He basically did a basketball move with the ball.
Souček made a tremendous save a few weeks ago and it wasn't given.
I'm only talking about today, handball.
You can't do that.
But that's what the question was about. Today's handball.
No, you can't do that. You have to do what I done.
No, but you're doing the history of the game and VAR coming in. The times have changed.
That's my point. Times have changed, which means that's not handball anymore.
But Grizz, what I'm saying is the time of change. It went from if you're breaking your fall and the ball hits your hand, it's a handball. Today, he actually landed on the ball. It bounced to the ground, bounced back up and hit him. That's basketball.
Okay, let's ask the man in the middle.
Yeah, I've watched it a few times, and to be honest,
but in the context of the game, man. Like
I hear the context, but for me, like that's a handball.
That's
a handball, right, Bilal? The man bounced the ball.
But it don't be given.
No, good. You're 100% right with the way some have been given, some haven't been given. Let's just be honest. VAR doesn't have a consistent record.
No. I think it does. See, you lot not listening to me. I don't like it when you lot don't listen to me.
Grizz, I didn't see the Souček one, so I can't comment on it.
Very consistent. They're not given anymore.
But I've seen one given against Real Madrid.
People tell me, let me know what was given. No penalties are given for these handballs anymore.
I've seen one given against Alaba, Real Madrid, but his hand was actually on the floor.
Premier League, brother. Premier League.
I understand, but Grizz, that's what I'm saying in the context of football and the history.
If it was a Champions League,
okay.
Premier League.
So I think we'll agree there. In the Prem, Grizz, I'm with you. But in the football, I'm not talking soccer, Ted Lasso settings. In football, I'd say it was. But in the Prem, I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna go up to the officials and ask what's going on there.
We got one person who says, oh, two people that's saying, yeah, we got away with it. Yeah. But the majority are saying, oh, okay.
No, Grizz, I'm telling you.
But anyway, we move on. We move on.
Grizz, if that happened against us, you're asking for that handball.
I am, but I'm saying it's not given.
I think with VAR, it should be. You know what it is when you watch something like that in slow mo over and like a normal human would say, yeah, handball, because of the VAR. But even in real time, I've seen it in real life, like playing just under league back in day. Like those kind of things are given as.
Bella, you had 3 draws. You had 3 draws, right? If a decision like that in all 3 of them games didn't go your way, how would you be feeling right now about VAR and the officials?
Okay, be honest. No, Bilal. Be honest though. Be honest. Be to and fro. Like what? Like to and cons and yeah, man. Allow my words to them, man. I mean,
it's late.
Pros and cons. Look, would you be fuming if that was you and it was given? And would you be fuming if that was against you and it wasn't given?
Now, if it was given against my team, I would say, yeah, I understand it, to be honest, because when you look at it, even in real time, it's handball. Like that's a reaction, right? And even when you go watch it in the replays, for me, I kind of think it is a handball. But if I'm West Ham, I understand why David Moyes is agitated after the game, not getting that decision going his way, because I don't even know West Ham right now. Any points they get, just to secure their position.
I think they're cool. I think they're cool.
Yeah, but it's so
tight. It's in their hands to be cool. It's in their hands to be cool, so they need to be careful.
We're at that stage of the season where these kind of decisions matter more than even earlier on. So it's one of those ones. I hear, Grizz, what you're saying. Like these referees at this point, the handball.
That's all I'm saying, man. Look,
they're trying to not give them. They're trying to not give them as much as they did.
All I'm saying to Zuberi is, and people that think it was a penalty, I think it was a penalty in years gone by to the start of time. But what I'm saying to you, in the Premier League, tell me another handball that's been given in the Premier League like that. They don't give it.
Yeah,
we clearly see it. They don't give it for whatever reasons. Don't ask me to explain why it was not given anymore. But there's obviously an email going around to the referees and officials that's not handball anymore.
It's what I don't like though. With the Premier League, things are a bit let go a lot more, and then when you go watch the Champions League or the Europa League, things are too soft sometimes. There's no balance sometimes when I'm watching these games, and it's a bit annoying as a fan, watching these different competitions. But I guess it's the way it's always been. You play in Europe, you get a yellow card, red card for no reason. In Premier League, you get away with it.
Jay says, I'm more fuming at Thiago for making the challenge. Like, he needs to relax. The last couple of performances from Thiago have been wild, He's come on, and he's supposed to have the positive impact because he's the baller, he's the relaxer, he's the conductor. He's made me panic.
I've realized, for me, since Thiago's gone to Liverpool, I think instead of him bringing Thiago to Liverpool, a lot of the times I watch him, I feel like he's trying to be like a Liverpool player. What he thinks in his mind should be a Liverpool midfielder, instead of maybe just thinking about, I'm Thiago Alcantara, let me play my game. And
he's not allowed that room. And Bilal, I hear what you're saying. All of those criticisms fall up underneath what I would put on the back of the manager. When you get a guy like that, he has this stifling mentality of limiting his players in a system. System works, and we've seen it take a second place and runners up. And I'm asking for more. Like, you need to set up your team in a way where we can get more from these players that can give more. We have way too many players that can offer more, and they're just confined and limited within a role. Doesn't quite suit him. He doesn't have the freedom to do what he's doing. You see, he came on, he got dispossessed a few times. Imagine if he was trying to be the Thiago we know and lose the ball in a more exposed area. Yeah. Problems. You don't want Thiago making challenges like that in the box. That should be a Fabinho or Trent in the position they find themselves. Thiago should be outside the box, receiving that turn and trying to make something happen, open up the pitch. So for him to even be in that position is not something you want, bro. Where was Konate? Where was the defense? Why are they dropping so far back? So it's not Thiago's fault, but if he finds himself in the position, he has to do something. It's just he's always a pace or two from the play or from the attacker or the ball, and it's not good to watch, but it's the system we play in. You know, it puts these players in these positions, and Grizz, to bring it back to the front two behind the striker, it's not their fault personnel-wise, but the system requires a little bit more than just defending from the front. When is the last time you've seen? Go ahead.
But what I mean, though, but what I've meant about that is they're not going to be. Are you talking about the two?
Like yeah, that's just behind the striker. We're asking them to recycle and do all these things that position doesn't really ask for.
But realistically, we already know that them two are not going to be the starters come next season. We're just setting them the structure in motion, and we're going to replace the pieces. But the structure is going to be there. So I hear your criticism of them, especially Henderson. But I think give it some time. Listen, we're going to wrap it up real soon. I'm coughing in it, Bilal, so read out this question. Sorry.
Yeah. Logano says here, hello from Serbia. What do you think, guys? Who's more likely to lose top four? Newcastle or United? Obviously, Man United. Manchester has Tottenham, Villa, West Ham, and Brighton. Only Villa at home. And that's actually quite interesting. So they've got 3 away games. We know Man United away from home have not been great. Obviously, to top 10 teams especially. But
you guys see any drama?
Let me get the table up and then we can...
Are we cooking something? Are we cooking something?
Grizz,
is there something happening? Is there something magical in the air?
Grizz, I told you this on the last call-in, and you brushed it to the side. Matter of fact, I said to you backstage, and I was like, yo, let me send you this spreadsheet, Grizz, of how certain teams finished top 4. And you're like, nah, Zabir, I can't take this conversation right now. Grizz, it may not happen, but this is what football fans live for. These are the moments. The question is, who's likely to drop out? Based on the run of games, the weak link does look like Man United. But what I want people to understand, if they drop out, the only dark horse besides us in that position is Villa. Grizz, I'm not even making a case for our team to get top 4.
We've got Villa to go yet at Anfield.
Exactly my point. So it could be down to us and Villa is a dark horse.
Now, listen, I'm not doing this. We're out. People, I ain't getting dragged back in. We're out. Okay, we're out. Get away from this table. Don't do this, Bilal. Get away. Let's just talk about today. I'm not doing this shit, man. Listen, Matip, I thought Matip has... I've cussed Matip. And rightly so, because Matip has been atrocious this season. But Matip was strong today. Matip was aggressive today. Matip was good on the ball today. And eventually Matip scored with a stunning header today. So always props to players that perform. When coming, given an opportunity, unfortunate Konate missed out. Props to Matip. I thought people thought Antonio and Benrahma are going to run him ragged. No one ran him ragged. In fact, he handled Antonio nice. Bowen was a problem on the other side. I thought Robertson again in a new role for Robertson was calm. Virgil, I know people are saying a couple of things about him, but overall Virgil was much better for me. Overall, I know he didn't engage in a couple of situations. The Bowen disallowed goal. Don't know why he's doing that. I get it, but overall Virgil was much better. Fabinho, there and thereabouts. Henderson wasn't great. Salah was poor. And Jota was poor. But no problem. He's been out 4 or 5 months. Come back with a little hit. Maybe take him out of the team now for the weekend. Maybe now give Diaz a start. This is the problems that Klopp has been wanting. These are the kind of headaches that he's been wanting. We roll on to Spurs on the weekend, I believe. Spurs Man United tomorrow. I don't know what we want, bro. What do we want, Zoobs? Look at that table.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's a very tough one. So I think we have to go for a draw. But Spurs getting a draw, it's almost too good for them. They don't even deserve a draw. So it's the weirdest position I find myself as a neutral. where I want a draw, but the team doesn't even deserve a draw. That's where I'm at with them too.
It's interesting. I think there's a lot of interesting games in and around because every team's fighting for something. Even teams like Chelsea. Even teams like Chelsea are fighting for that 40-point mark.
Yeah, for survival, man.
Hey, Grizz, did you remember when I brought an agenda to you and say, yo, let's get to safety points first before we worry about next season? Could be Chelsea.
It could be. It could be. But if you're Liverpool, you guys are Liverpool fans, you need to probably support Tottenham tomorrow, I'd say. Because the thing is, right, you need them to get the goal first because it's unlikely that if they concede that they're going to...
Is it Old Trafford?
It's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I believe. So let me just double check. So yeah, it's Tottenham at home.
Yeah, they need to just let Harry Kane do player manager and finish out the season.
They got to do something tomorrow against Man United.
Their fans are...
I don't know what we want. I don't know what we want. I don't know what we want. Because I can't see Tottenham, even if they do... Listen,
support Tottenham because if they win, it doesn't mean anything.
Tottenham,
finish above them anyway.
Last season, Tottenham finished our title with that draw at Anfield. It pissed me off. I was there. I was heartbroken. I want to smash them this weekend. I want to smash you. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Today was nice. That's all I'm saying. Today was nice. I haven't got carried away. We aren't back in the top 4 race. Liverpool ain't back. But today was nice. We haven't had many nice days. I enjoyed watching us today. People can criticize X, Y, Z. No problem. Feel free to criticize X, Y, Z. I was nice. Liverpool were nice. We won nice. Main event. We go again. Tomorrow we have Eurostars, I believe.
Yeah, it might be Friday now, actually.
It might be Friday now because Man United Spurs tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
So we might do a little something tomorrow, people. So that's Eurostars Friday. Check out Brown Monday tomorrow. We have Kall in on Saturday. And of course, we have RedFellas on Sunday. We're back in action. Liverpool is back in action. Man City have won the title tonight, I believe. Thank you for the love. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's show. If you have, show some appreciation. Smash a like on your way out. Captain, Bills, Grizz, we out.